Hello, Mrs. Rubik's. I am going to be continuing my story, Gamers Guide to Ever After. And, if you randomly came across this video, if you were to look in the description, um, I included a list of all the different, video links because this is not the first chapter of the story, so, I guess go check that out before coming here. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, chapter 1, Purple-borne Masquerade. Fawning over themselves in the mirror was Aster, striking a few poses as they reached over to swing the strap of a satchel full of art supplies over their shoulder. As the palace slumbers begins to play. Unimpressed with their sister's little posing session, Glitch browsed their surroundings and pondered aloud. Hey sis, have you seen my... Before Glitch has time to finish, a blunt object strikes their forehead as a frazzled yelp escapes their throat. Ah! What the hell was that for? Their sister's guilty hand claps over their mouth. Oh shit, my bad. Did not mean to throw it that hard. Glitch's eyelids descended to a squint. You did that on purpose, didn't you? Of course I did. You know me so well. Rolling their eyes, Glitch rubs the throbbing mark on their forehead and inspects the object closely. And the reader would then see this graphic of a black expo marker. They ran all out of red. ... Like the lump on your head. Glancing from left to right, Aster places an accusatory hand on their hip and asks, I take it you have Uncle's lockpick kit on you. Responsive, Glitch's confident hand dives through their left pocket. Fumbling for their other pocket, they reveal a set of lockpicks that glint in the moonlight. And the reader would then see this other graphic. It's a set of magic lockpicks. Your uncle lent them to you and your sister after a incident, but forgot to ask for them back. You mistook them for some metal straws the first time he handed them to you. Great for breaking and entering. Tempted to hurl it at them, Glitch stows the thought for later and rises to their feet. They drag their slides against the carpet as Aster offers their lazy wrists. They begin picking the lock on their sister's cuffs until they become undone and catch them with ease. And as their eyes begin to study those enchanting details adorning its appearance, the reader would also then see this other graphic. A duet of magic cuffs. They are intricately designed with a butterfly that flutters its wings when magic is channeled by the wearer and pings the nearest sentry to your location. You hate how tight they weigh on your wrists. Glitch studies these cuffs a moment longer, nostalgic of a time when things weren't always like this. And the reader would then see this. A memory bank reveals itself. Take a look inside. And if they were to click yes, they would be taken to this other document. Okay. And it is called Fingers Will Point. And Masquerade of the Guilty begins to play. There's an incident that took place amongst the seven, long after the great sacrifice of pride and gluttony. The reader would then see this ominous black graphic. It is said that the sloth incarnate, who was once known among mortals as La Muerte, used her orange eyes to hypnotize her stepmother into stabbing herself. In the nick of time, Lust came to Madame Envy's rescue. Had Sloth gone through with her malevolence, Paradisa would have been 3 incarnates short. The trial of Sloth became the talk of the realm. Her final verdict? Indisputably guilty. No matter what La Muerte said in her defense, Judge Chrysanthemum, the demi-bloom of truth, declared Sloth's testimony to be false. And in this story, demi-bloom are a race of humans who inherit the mythical traits of incarnates and gods alike. Chrysanthemums are capable of distinguishing truth from falsehoods in people's words, yet Glitch likes to refer to them as Bullshit Detectors 3000. Her fate sealed, La Muerte surrendered all rights to her throne at the Seven and spent the last millennium a withering god in the depths of Inferno. Many ponder why somebody of her stature did not simply use her eyes to swindle her way out of the whole debacle. The few who witnessed her descension vividly recall how she held a bright smile even as she sank into the ocean. Some are prone to believe that she wanted to retain a level of zeal in front of her own son, and as they both descended from this plane she helped create, her colonies in the mortal realm were destined to lose all contact with her after she descended, and inevitably, her punishment only warranted unease towards her people was the question of whether or not they should follow after La Muerte, idled in everyone's minds. Marigolds, the demi-bloom of hypnosis. The marigolds did not stand by as their incarnate became trapped beneath the ocean. They illusioned themselves with her innocence and continued to believe in the purity of their goddess. The island of Paradiso quaked as their people warred with the divine to no end in a hypnotic hymn that turned the realm upside down. They became tactful and brain-jamming the gods into their allies by utilizing their orange eyes, and embarked in a hypnotic war that lasted for a month. The climax of the war ended when the Lust Incarnate raised her arm and summoned her retinue of disasters and silenced the rebellion. What survived of their dwindling numbers after the hypnotic war merely solidified their immediate destinies in Inferno. They became banished into the underworld in an unfruitful reunion with their incarnate. In the wake of the crisis, uncertainties rose as the realm needed a new overseer to put their fates in. The Envy Incarnate, Revere, rose up to the task. Wherever she pointed, her widely accepted purity followed suit. By her decree, the glory days of spellcasting and wild magic have been put on a leash in fear of repeating history. Textbooks set aflame, orbs of enchantment sealed away behind a forgotten confinement. One flick of a wrist, and the walls of a fortress towered over the realm, spanning from the heart of Paradiso to the southern shore of the island. A forced relocation ordained that Demibloom and reincarnations alike are to live behind these walls to embark in a new era of magic with restraint. There's a saying that everyone's ears have become accustomed to. Paradiso's walls are built from the paranoia of Madame Envy. Those who can see beyond these curtains of falsehood are able to recognize how it was all a scheme to the control of unpredictability. Yet in her eyes, us Paradisans cannot begin to instill balance in this realm if we do not embrace self-control. Restrain your powers, or you'll end up like Sloth. These words have ricocheted in everyone's minds for the past millennium. La Muerte's name looked around like this name or concept you should actively fear. The gods and remaining seven sought to restrain their magic in order to forge normalcy among the residents. Needless to say, anyone can see that the Almighty has begun to fear other divinity. And in the era of Era 3, or in the dawn of Era 3, the current circumstance would inevitably birth rule breakers. Those who long to wield their magic in secret are now marked with a nearly forged random distillation, like a bird stripped of its wings. No matter the simplicity, be it magical street performances, or jazzing up your appearance, anything that strays from perfection attracts the glare of the divine, albeit those who use their magic to harm others warranted banishment to Inferno. And in this new age of evildoers, the Guardians are here to answer the call of the innocent. As their grandiose title suggests, they are a legion of hypocrites who are always seen as the exception to using magic. Their motto, virtue is ever vigilant so that evil may never rest, is drilled in everyone's head. So long as you had the will to protect, the Guardians would have a place for you. But in terms of self-defense, that's as far as the right to magic goes. Back then, Paradiso used to be a place of natural reincarnation. When Kane was alive, it was never meant to host solely heroes. And Envy turned a blind eye to those antiquated morals and chose to isolate the realm from natural spawns. She made it ever harder to escape, lest you were a hero or god of sorts. But in everyone else's eyes, why would you ever want to leave? As the realm isolated itself from the universe, the Joy-Con siblings lost their ability to traverse the realms normally. By reverting back to a Joy-Con and sliding into a Switch, they have the ability to literally switch between realms. The only precondition is that one of Kane's immensely scattered devices has to reside on the other end before they traverse. Determined than ever, they've been plotting their entire lives for the right chance to board the only mode of transport out of here. But as a result of their stepmother's wise and unquestioning guidance, the siblings lost all contact with these switch gates and have been trapped in the realm ever since. Those who question the system are reminded to be grateful, for you are told that divine power lies solely in the hands of a guardian and not in the wide populace of Paradiso. For you are taught to be above magic and embrace the irony of it all. No soul ever dares lift a finger against the divine. Why have Kane's demi-bloom disappeared over the years? Why do Paradisans learn to stop asking why? What happened to those heroes who spent their entire lives fighting the system to deserve an entrance here? These are many questions the Joy-Con siblings find themselves asking. To their knowledge, they are the last breathing survivors of Kane's kind. ... No matter the limitations, none of it could hope to stop the Joy-Con siblings from exercising their power in secret. But what happens when even the bravest butterfly flutters too close to the sun? Please, allow me to tell you another story that has been lost to time. Okay. The reader would then see this other option. A new memory bank reveals itself. And if they were to highlight this, take a look inside. Okay. After clicking yes, the reader would then be taken to this document. Esther's Hidden Chapter, Bleeding Canvas. And in Blank's eyes, the reader would also then see this mysterious graphic. Uncle, how do things ever turn out like this? Estorella, you'd be wise to avoid asking those types of questions. But why? Is there really nothing you can do? Listen, I may be the incarnate of greed, but there are things that even us incarnates are sincerely incapable of. The Overseer is the one who calls all the shots. All we do is sway our opinion from time to time. ... But who says you can't practice your magic in secret? Here, let me show you how to pick the locks on these darn things, and wake your brother up, or they'll drill all over my documents. Again. Time skipping here. Miss Umbrella I raise above your head, red and blue's theme begins to play. Starlight, how many times did I warn you not to use your powers? How many scars do I need to leave on your beautiful face just to get this point across? Demi-Bloom are an accursed race, not a toy, and certainly not a gift. But why do the cards get to practice their magic? Children who fall from grace are hell spawns, don't you know? Keep this up, and I will personally escort you to the crest artist myself. I tell you this because I love you. ... Don't use your powers again. Do I make myself clear, Esther? Yes, Mother. I can save all that love for somebody who actually gives a shit. And the reader would then see this graphic of Esther's silhouette. And there's just these two scars in the middle. Ugly rumors about the Joy-Con siblings began to circulate after one of them marched back to the quarters with a story behind their oozing scars. A reminder of what happens when you fall out of line. Gasps and grotesque expressions seemed to follow the blue Joy-Con wherever they jubilantly walked. Oh stars, what an inferno happened to her face? ... I hear Madame Envy made an example out of the child after she was caught practicing her magic in secret. Sure, Madame Envy's punishment was a little excessive, but the story behind that child's face was an important example for her fellow demi-bloom. One look at her, and you'd be best not to practice your magic in secret like she has. My lullaby. Please stay away from her and her brother. But dear Esther was not ashamed of their skies. On one hand, it was a symbol of their defiance against the new order. Magic is meant to be free. We exist with these powers for a reason. They are the only things in Paradiso that make us feel safe. But in the blue Joy-Con's heart, it symbolized something far gloriful than a quiet rebellion. Esther? What happened to your face? And the reader would then see this graphic of Esther smiling. And as the red Joy-Cons stumbled off their bed, their sister wrapped them into a tight hug. Preceding these events, a maid waltzed into the room to commence their monthly cleanup. In reality, Glitch was the owner of that marker that had birthed a lion as it prowled before the maid and sank its wild teeth into her ankle. The sister cast invisibility upon their brother to make it look like they were the ones who had conjured it. I don't care how many times the blame is shifted to me. I would do anything for you, brother. But if there comes a day when I can't even save myself, you'll be there to save me. Right? And that would be the end of this chapter, this hidden memory bank. And it's time to go back. Continue? Yes. Okay. In real time, Glitch was studying these cuffs they'd just unlocked from their sister's wrists, and the world will feel a lot less dull if we didn't have to wear these pieces of shit, they thought. And a Joy-Con and their humble abode begins to play. Okay. Esther reaches over for both of Glitch's wrists and proceeds to unlock their cuffs as well. They could feel the magical energy channeling through their veins, although they weren't necessarily stripped of their powers. There was a sort of liberation in it. Glitch now becomes occupied with finding a place to hide these cuffs, while their sister finishes making their own preparations. They descend to one knee and gnaw their marker cap off, sketching the outline of a simple box over their carpet. Glitch boops the black border as a cardboard box erects from the carpet that becomes three-dimensional. They stick all 4 cuffs inside and seal the box shut. Reusing the carpet as their canvas, they lean over to doodle a penguin with a bow tie. And maintaining a hand over the simple outline, the 2-dimensional penguin becomes 3D as it hugs the box with its flippers and begins waddling towards the closet. Eventually, the doodle returns to Glitch's heel and salutes its master. Thanks, my dude, the red Joy-Con murmurs. And they reach over their dresser and pull out a sketchbook, fumbling for a blank page. Glitch spreads the cover open like they were holding the door for someone, and following its cue, the penguin bids farewell to the material world, and waddles into the page, joining the red Joy-Con's animal sanctuary among other sketches and work in progresses. And before sealing their sketchbook, the red Joy-Con catches a glimpse of the penguin idling near the half-finished polar bear and the lazy-eyed seal as it waves its flipper hello. It just so happens that Glitch and Esther are Hibiscus, the demi-bloom of creation. Okay. The blue Joy-Con's fingers dance along the shelves as they reach into a cabinet and pull out an assortment of spell components, from a feather to strands of fur encased inside a tiny glass jar. So, do I need to go over the plan one more time? Esther begins. Or do you need me to hold your hand throughout the entire heist? Glitch dotes. Yeah. Jeez, I remember. I guess I am a little worried that Somebody might use the elevator while we're in the shaft. Please, don't be such a worrywart, Master insists. Nobody uses the dang thing at this hour except us. It's the only solid route we have that will take us straight to Papa's hallway without anyone noticing us. Trust. The sister then begins to tiptoe out of the doorway and ushers a follow me arm, which mocks under their throat, "Don't be such a worrywart," before rising to their feet. Their attention scans across the room for that familiar cuckoo clock residing over their sister's vanity, and the reader would then see this graphic. It's a cuckoo clock. It looks at you expectantly. This was the first ever clock Aster and Uncle Kronos created together, yet the hour hand seems way off than what your digital alarm clock suggests. 10:01 p.m. The Midland curfew ended a minute ago. You look back at the wood-borne clock. It's been ages since you last saw Mr. Cuckoo-bird. There appears to be a tiny door near the roof you could open. ... It's not like anything would happen if you simply looked, right? ... You feel tense. Don't look inside. Glitch diverts their attention elsewhere as their hungry eyes search for that familiar mug sitting atop their arched window, and the reader would also then see this graphic of a mug full of forget-me-nots. It used to be one big flower, but due to curious circumstances that the author cannot and will not explain, it's manifested into multiple tiny ones. You can't seem to recall who gave them to you. Back then, the old container was pretty worn down, so you sketch yourself a mug to transfer all those bad boys into their new home. It seems like you forgot to water it this morning, so that should be your top priority as soon as you return. There's a slip of paper taped near the handle. Please don't eat that, Master. Glitch. You feel a brief warmth in your soul as you gaze upon it. Just a second longer. It's a shame I can't bring it with us. The red Joy-Con ponders. It's bound to make a mess of my inventory if it falls over. Finally, Glitch shuffles into the moonlit hallway and spots their sister, preoccupied with putting a guardian to rest. Their assigned sentry, Cyrus, plunges to the ground as their sister flicks their attention to Glitch. All together, the Joy-Con siblings begin to shrink to the inconspicuous height of 2 feet. And with an urgent air about them, Aster flips through their sketchbook and extracts the parasol from it. They face their creation horizontally and gracefully nest themselves atop it, like a witch's broom, as they rise to the ceiling. Glitch, on the other hand... Glitch, on the other hand, kicks their tiny feet against the carpet as a revolving star hovers upwards, and the reader would then see this graphic. It's a warp star. Kirby was their icon. Still is. Okay. Glitch then hoists themselves atop it like a surfboard as the siblings commence their heist. And the reader would then see this other graphic. Welcome to the hallways. Don't make too much noise or the reflections will hear you. Shooting Star Escapade will then begin to play. They glide across the ceiling with abandon and parade around a corner or two. Residing at the end of this dead-end hall was a stainless steel door promising an elevator shaft. Closing in on their first checkpoint, the siblings hear a loud sneeze boom inside their tiny eardrums from the guard inhabiting this hallway. Let me lower this aside. Beads of sweat begin to dampen Glitch's back and armpits, and as they draw closer to the elevator, Glitch's nose becomes warmer and warmer as they resist the urge to sneeze. They wheezed. Their sister's "oh shit" signals go off as they hover themselves closer to Glitch to shove an intrusive index under their nose. A few seconds later, and their impending disaster begins to subside as it leaves a stinging warmth within their nose. Retaining a glare of certain death, Aster slowly begins to withdraw their finger. All at once, Glitch lets it all out. Achoo! Bless you, expressed some lady's voice from underneath. Thanks, Glitch duly replied, and Aster's hand became reacquainted with her forehead, As they mouthed, "Great going, you fucking dolts." Carried by stardust, a rose petal lands in their hand as they carve out the letters ZZZ upon it. And the god's startled gaze winds upwards as she holds eye contact with Glitch, who proceeds to sneeze again. But before the guard could even think about pinging for backup, a tiny shadow expands from behind them and places a gentle palm against the back of her chest plate. And the god's eyes begin to flutter as Aster struggles to delay the loud clang of her armor against the floor and plops her over the carpet. Crisis averted. The sister stares daggers into Glitch, until suddenly, a voice telepathically squabbles inside their head. "You nearly got us caught, imbecile." Glitch gestures wildly at the ceiling. "Get off my ass! It was dusty as hell. Chill, homie, chill." Okay. A few feet later, and the siblings finally reach their first stop. Rolling their wrists, Aster holds their paintbrush with prowess and begins painting them both a hatchet, and as Glitch spun around to dispel their sister's creation, they hear someone utter, "Ugh." And Don't Look Inside will begin to play. Okay. "Hey, what's the matter?" Glitch hisses. Their sister mutters, "This wall smells as old and moldy as a granny's butthole. When was the last time somebody freaking cleaned it?" This causes Glitch's eyes to become reacquainted with the back of their skull, and noting their brother's lackluster response, Aster reluctantly adds, "Whatever. Let's just get this over with." And as the Joy-Con siblings progress farther into the depths of their kingdom, the two of them become unaware of all the minutes flying past their heads. And many, many minutes later, eventually, Glitch becomes ever conscious of the time and queries, "Yo, how long has it been since we entered this place? Feels like we've been down here for hours." The sister ponders this for a moment. Before answering, 20 minutes? Startled, Glitch pauses mid-flight and casts their sister a glare of dismay. "Bullshit," they hiss. I'm 99% sure it's been longer than 20 minutes. They watch as Aster's irises enter a day and night cycle, from the same glimmering confidence that always gets them in trouble, to oh shit, I probably fucked up. That familiar stubbornness swells on the sister's cheeks as they mumble, "Screw you, I know where I'm going." And without warning, an alarm booms throughout the shaft like a nuclear sound wave had been set off. And this suddenness of extrasensory causes Glitch to stagger as their warp star begins teetering weakly. Aster catches wind of this and hovers close to Glitch, cupping their ears. "Warning, code orange, intruder alert. Warning, code orange, intruder alert. All Demi-Bloom must stay inside their rooms until intrusion status has been lifted. I repeat, all Demi-Bloom must stay inside their room until intrusion status has been lifted." Aster hollers at the top of their lungs, "I'm going to let go of your ears, okay?" And, nodding, Aster begins to free float into the air as Glitch feels a small jolt in their body. Eventually, the noise begins to dim as a wave of relief washes over Glitch. This was one of the first alarms they've heard in years. "Get his scythe," a gruff voice commands. He's down! He's down!" And the Joy-Con siblings pause, hesitant to progress further down the shaft. It's like there's a scuffle taking place on the other side. They then hear, "I'll call in for Madame Envy." The gravity feels heavy at the mere mention of their stepmother's title. Sights swiveling downwards. They each see a large gaping hole inside of the shaft. Sparkling with curiosity, the Joy-Con siblings peer into the hole as their eyes become The Joy-Con siblings peer into the hole as their eyes become acquainted to this gory scenery before them, and the reader would then see this graphic. "Welcome to the storage. Please take care not to leave any of your sentient waste behind." It was a purple-lit room filled to the brim, with crates shoving a mixture of blue and red vials, the same colors Glitch and Aster played. There were various body parts kept in small containers throughout the room, ranging from severed ears of roses to indigo-colored brains that reeked of carnations, nails of plumerias, the razor-sharp teeth of periwinkles, even the aquamarine acid of lily of the valleys. And if the reader were to highlight this text, a graveyard for those who have gotten too close to the truth. What the fuck is this room? Asterella transmits. Across from these shelves, their blood curdles from the very sight of these familiar orange eyes that were encapsulated in vials, stacked one eye over the other. Gush's irises shrink with horror. Hold up, are those marigold eyes? And to think that Paradiso was once a beautiful kingdom that bore a residence to marigolds, the demi-bloom of hypnosis. Father Divinity never once felt safe around our orange eyes. On beautiful nights like these, children like you were probably better off sleeping in bed. And yeah, notice the weird perspective shift here. Wonder what that's all about. Residing in the center were these two guards with the demi-bloom crest over their blazers. They lured over a cloaked figure wrapped like a person in vines. Thankfully, the two of them had their backs turned, but if Glitch squinted hard enough, they could see how Guardian A was ready to dispel any sudden movements the figure made, while their colleague, Guardian B, was focusing a vine-binding spell over the intruder. In the back of their minds, a voice begins. What the hell are they doing? Their sister's sudden telepathy causes Glitch to flinch. Straightening their posture, Glitch responded, Must have been what Code Orange was about. Their vision forages around the room in search of those red and blue infused liquids. Glitch feels a bit faint as they transmit. There's so much blood. Do you, think that maybe there are other hibiscus who've been donating their blood like we have? Fuck that. Don't you see those gory eyes, Glitch? Ain't no fucking way all of this was just a simple dodo. Aster huffed mid-telepathy before adding, Brother, we've been knew how fucked over this place was. We have to keep moving. And a gruff voice cuts their sister off and remarks, Craggy, this stray poppy sure knew how to put up a fight, eh? Their room begins to stir. This stray marigold sure knew how to put up a fight, eh? The room begins to stir. Hold up. Our intruder was a fucking marigold? And yeah, their kind hasn't been spotted around ever since Sloth tried fucking with them, Vizad. Guard A lowers himself to eye level with the marigold and reaches over to slide off their hood, before the intruder's teeth dives into his skin. Ah! Cries. Infernal rodent piece of... Then he proceeds to kick the marigold upside the head as he coughs out a string of blood, as orange as the eyes in this room. Hey, careful with his eyes, Guard B scolds. Guard A sneers. What? It's like practically an entire swarm of our troops just to get him to this point. I'm simply paying tribute to everyone he slaughtered. And holy fuck was he right. Until now, Glitch didn't pick up on just how many disheveled bodies and corpses were scattered around the room like it was a graveyard. Just how powerful was this guy? Glitch notices their sister hover below. Andale, this ain't got nothing to do with us, Tweedledee. Let's bounce before they notice us. And raising his voice, Garby yells, Terry! I told you to knock it off! I'm not about to get my neck wrung just because your idiot ass got rough with Madam's merchandise. Jeez. Loosen up. Stars, you're acting like you're the filthy elites Envy's been selling these to. It's not like she'll run out of supplies anytime soon. I hear her husband's gonna genocide another one of Sloth's old colonies next month. What the hell are they saying? Say, Guard A resumes. Ain't it kinda fucked up that he would just slaughter and lock up his old wife's people just to replenish his new wifey's inventory? I mean, the things we do for love, am I right? What? Glitch spouts uncontrollably. They immediately clap a frazzled hand over their mouth as their fingers become numb. Alarmed, the guards spin around and stare daggers into the hole. Who's there? Guard A barks and beams their flashlight right into their bewildered ass. Glitch casts their gaze below and sees the fear painted all over their sister's canvas. Son of a bitch, one of them curses. Isn't that one of the kids? Led astray, Guard A begins to trail away from the figure. Okay. The intruder makes immediate use of his negligence and frees his left arm. He infuses a dagger from his sleeve with black ice and jabs it into Guard B's ankle as he begins stumbling backwards and yelps, "Ah!" And suddenly, the two of them are tumbling to the ground until they're neck and neck with each other. Guard A's attention darts back to his colleague. "Hey," he barks, before the cloaked figure boots a floating piece of ice that jolts itself into his skull. "You infernal rodent!" Guard B cries. "I'll kill you and sell your eyes!" The intruder forces an intrusive hand over the Guardian's mouth and holds him at knife point. "Quit squirming," he orders. "I won't kill you so long as you do me a tiny favor. So listen up." Suddenly, the space around his head becomes all distorted and blurry, and the reader will then see this graphic. Take a nap. When your colleagues find you, you're going to tell them and your superiors that the intruder turned out to be a rogue paradison that legally knows charm person. No dummy bones stepped into this place, and nobody's gonna search for one. A seriously dumb thought crossed Glitch's mind. That's so fucking cool! No fucking way I've become this moron sister for the 8th life in a row. Sorry, did you hear that? Esther accidentally transmits. What was that? Nothing. Don't worry about it. The Guardian's eyes began to flutter as the marigold rose to his feet, maintaining a cautious stance. As far as Glitch knows, they've never seen a marigold display their powers like this. Especially this close. What if... Listen, Glitch, I love you, but in spite of how stupid you are, but have you forgotten that we still have a little brother to save? Damn, sis, hold your horses. I think we can convince this guy that we're on his side. Gaze aloft now, Esther insists. What? Oh, you think we can trust some dude who literally killed a guy in cold blood? Are you blind, or did you miss all those bodies lying in the room? The figure's eyes begin to flare with blue as these faint wisps hover above the corpses lying in the room. He lowers his mask and vacuums the air as these faded sprites dart inside his mouth, letting an audible gawk out of Glitch. And then he makes direct eye contact with you. Scared shitless, a squeal of a pig escapes Glitch's throat. Never mind. What the hell was I thinking? Huh? What's going on? And the figure snaps his finger as a bundle of black vines bursts behind Glitch and entangles their entire body, causing their warp star to dematerialize. No matter how hard they seem to resist, the vines pull Glitch closer and closer to the marigold. Brother! Esther wails. Before it's too late, Glitch can feel their sister trying to grasp the edge of their hoodie, but to no avail. Promptly, the vines launch Glitch from the shaft. Their face slides against the cold floor, forcing them to enlarge back to their original size. Alright then, the figure begins. Let's make this quick, shall we? Glitch begs. No, cries for mercy. Wait, no! Please don't kill me! Settle down, he barks, and the figure squats over Glitch and covers their mouth. I won't harm you, so long as you don't. He pauses, and the reader would then see this graphic and notice how his eyes are wiggling. Though the marigold has a mask over his face, Glitch could see the boy's orange eyes tremble with recognition over and over again. Returning the boy's gesture, Glitch begins to survey him too and whispers, Hey yo, do I know you? You've encountered a wild marigold. He seems to be non-hostile towards you. For whatever reason, he seems strangely familiar. The marigold began lowering his mask and asked, Do you not remember? Over here, bitch! Begins to fucking play. Before he can finish, he pulls out of the way in time as a bright figure thrusts the tip of their bladed parasol at his neck. Revealing themselves to be Aster, they swing their entire body around to kick him with their bare feet as the boy blocks their attacks using his forearms, Their footsteps were as light and delicate as a balletist, faint emissions of stardust emitting beneath their elegant footwork. Not wasting a second, they feign an attack to close in on him and spin themselves around, striking him up and down using the tip and handle of their parasol. This causes the boy to lose his balance and fall literally back into his shadow as it slithers away all snake-like. Aster's parasol switches to gun mode as they unload a few bullets in its direction. Yeah, let me load this. Okay. Yeah. Aster's parasol switches to gun mode as they unload a few bullets in its direction. The shadow weaves from left to right and seeks cover behind some boxes, holding out for an attack. Mosquito wraps Aster's attention as it zips beyond the crates. Suspecting him to be a druid, Aster prepares himself to dodge as the mosquito shapeshifts into the intruder, with a foot honed in on their head. Aster ducks in time and swings aimlessly for the boy's torso as he somersaults backwards. Upside down now, his hands grapple the floor as he springs upward, using his shoes to strike Aster in the chin, causing them to grunt in pain. Flipping upright, the boy guides his hands towards his wrist and prepares a spell. Faint hints of fire flicker between his fingers. Taking action, Aster unfurls the parasol and swings it from left to right to obscure his vision. Trying to keep his cool, the boy withdraws his spell and stretches his arms backwards. His limbs and cheeks harden with scales as his fingers twist and contort into a duet of dragon hands. Rolling his fist like a boxer, his first strike seems to overwhelm Aster as they attempt to deflect it with their parasol. "Glitch, a little help here?" they shriek as the boy's next strike causes them to shrink out of the way. "I'm working on it!" Glitch barks at their sister. Their tired and frazzled hands attempting to draw a weapon they haven't practiced in months. Fuck, dude. This is what I get for spending all my time on useless animal drawings. Taking advantage of this, he uses the momentum of a glass tank near him to thrust himself at Aster. The blue Joy-Con smirks and winds himself beneath him, opening their parasol against his torso. This causes him to fumble off target and fumble against the floor. Spinning into a crouch, he flicks his attention elsewhere and flicks his arms. Vines embellished with thorns and marigolds begin to escort the scythe back to its master. But as he extends his arm for it, a sharp bullet pulverizes the vines. He glances over to Glitch as they blow the steam out of the pipe and face their gun at the boy. That expression in the boy's eyes almost made it seem like he was saddened by this. Without hesitance, the boy's eyes beam with an orange light as he commands, "Drop the gun, and remember me." Okay. Glitch loses control and seals their eyes shut as their intricate pistol clings against the ground. "Grab!" they cry as their irises become hued with orange. Suddenly, a sharp ringing fills their ears as they openly cry out in pain, and as the world fades into darkness, a bright vision flashes before the red dragon's eyes. Forget Me Not, ? Theme begins to play. Okay. When I opened my eyes, I could see a memory playing out for me. Twiddling of birds and the sun basking against my skin. All these details were as vivid as the itch I had in my thigh. In the distance, there was a much smaller version of the dude my sister was bawling with just now. Damn, I thought. Bro looks hella chirpy. Adorning his person was a black and elegant robe, patterned from head to toe with silken marigolds. I couldn't make out any other details other than his brown and tousled hair that reeked of bedhead. Looming above the child was this lady with her eyes fastened over the child. I could hear her soft, comforting voice speak a few words to the child, but I couldn't make out what she was saying. The more I studied her, I realized that this is the sloth incarnate herself, Thanatos. The more I tried to piece together what was happening, I realized the boy was being pulled away from me, and for some reason, I could almost feel my hands tingle with this inexplicable yearning to reach out for him. It's hyperventilating now. Glitch pans back to reality and begins massaging their throbbing temples. What? What the heck was that? They wonder. And shrieking with rage, Aster cries, "Let them go!" And the figure rolls their fist back to Aster as they barely manage to duck their head in time. Holding out for an opening, a black dragon tail writhes from his tailbone as he swerves himself around, causing them to lose their balance. This awakens yet another vision. Oh my god. It's just like I'm becoming a banana split. In this memory, I was lazing over my bed with my sister, conversing about what comes and what goes. Eventually, I heard the voice of Makwahine, and that's Mom in Hawaiian, calling out to us from behind the door, her voice caressing our ears like a gentle rain. "Kids, do you have a minute? There's someone I'd like you to meet." The two of us roll out of bed then. Stepping into our bedroom was that same boy I saw in my other vision. Judging by that introverted-ass body language he was presenting, I could immediately tell he was a social recluse. I glanced at what he was holding and spotted the cutest little teddy bear donning a cloak and scythe. The reader would then see this really weird graphic. It's... Yos Nuclei? Hang on, this graphic doesn't seem to belong here. Please help yourself to some avocado toast instead. Closing their eyes and re-manifesting into the present, Glitch glances at this boy who is sparring against their sister. For a moment, he managed to get a clear view of the boy's face for the first time in years, as Esther swung to the edge of their blade against his mask, causing a piece of it to descend like a feather. Yeah, the reader would then see this other graphic. ... Time begins to slow as you cast your gaze into those familiar orange eyes, and a final, more prominent memory unveils itself before yours. In this vision, it was that same guy. His hair looked like a frizzled mess, but less grown than it is now, and the shape of his eyes never really changed either. This boy had his gentle hands fixed over my shoulders. Tears began to well in his eyes, or were they welling in mine? I can't seem to remember. "I'm sorry, Glitch," the boy says, "but you won't be seeing me for a really long time." But why? Just why? We must have been teenagers at the time, judging by the loopy cracks in her voice. My mom is being accused of a crime she didn't commit. And then I was sure of it. How was it to me that I was crying? Come on, dude. We're supposed to be dating those hottie mates in Sector C together. At this point, the snot started coming out of my nose too. Gross. And we will, he reassures. That's that soft wink of comfort in his smile. Fuck. How long will you be gone? I don't know, he shortly admits, and starts to cheer off my cheek. But I pinky promise I'll come back to you, no matter what happens to me. I'll tell you everything. For now. Then he shyly places a tiny blue flower in my ear. Please forget that I ever existed. Okay? At the time, I wanted to believe that he didn't mean it. But then, how could he say that with such misery in his eyes? Loki, mi amor. I'm afraid we must depart now. The incarnate of Sloth beckons. Did you say goodbye to Glitch? Sore threads connecting my ring finger to her soul became weaker with each painful step he took away from me. Clutching the same gray teddy bear he always had glued to him, the boy nodded as he wiped the tears beginning to coalesce in his eyes and glanced back at me, longingly, before trailing away with his mom. A vortex, composed of marigold petals, spiraled around their flesh, leaving nothing behind. Also, in this document, the reader would literally see these green threads in each corner of the page. Yeah. Damn. You never really liked expressing your own sorrow, did you? You always thought it made you weak and closer to what? I put that thought on hold. made who weak? I glanced around me, unsure if I was standing in our garden courtyard. Why am I here again? I wondered. And what the hell is up with these tears streaming down my cheek? Suddenly, a gentle breeze flowed through me as I could feel something lightly caressing my face. It tickled. Reaching behind my ear, I plucked out a funky-looking flower. You've obtained... And the reader would see this graphic. You obtained a strange blue flower. It still had its root attached to it too. So, where's the lucky girl? How long has this been in my ear? I pondered. Scanning ahead. Nobody in sight? Was I talking to someone just now? Whatever. I got a cool looking flower now. It's just gonna be so jealous if they go to the Chinese festival instead of them. I placed it back in my ear and marched innocently back to her room without a care in the world. Forget me not. All at once, the memories come flooding in like a rushing tidal wave. Loki! Glitch yells as a hand slaps over their mouth. Jesus Christ! My dude used to be so small. How'd he get so freaking huge? And Loki rolls his gaze back to Glitch and smiles softly. Before Aster closes in and crushes the side of his face with their parasol handle. Aster, wait! Glitch shrieks. That's our childhood friend Loki. Don't you remember him? Oh, trust me. I'm fully aware of who he is, they declare with a bit of spunk in their voice. What I did remember was how much I wanted to punch that stupid skull off his stupid face. And as they spin their body around and swing their blade for his neck, he grips it tight with his dragon fist and glares at Aster. And who in Inferno are you supposed to be? Gritting their teeth now, Aster growls. Well, so even after 50 years, you still don't recall how I stuck boogers in your eyes after you called me an ugly witch? Loki's face becomes grotesque. That was you? Catching everyone off guard, two guardians burst into the room. They caught wind of Code Orange's aftermath and bark, "Hey, nobody move!" And before either of them could attack, Loki and Aster act quickly and yell, "Can it!" in tandem with one another. A spell begins to materialize over their palms to rid of this little dilemma. Yet for some reason, Glitch spots their sister's expression dim as they lower their hand in surrenderance. A black wave of thunder surges from Loki's hands and electrocutes both guards beyond repair. Okay. Once the guards fizzled to their knees, Loki glances at Aster and sarcastically remarks, "Would you look at that? Your magic casting's gotten worse." Ignoring him, Aster takes one last look of longing around the room, their beady black eyes speckling with a stunning sympathy towards those vials of hibiscus blood, before retreating swiftly back to the hole. Loki strides over to Glitch and extends his hand. "Let's go," he says. The vines familiar fling Loki's scythe back to him as it deforms into a shadow. Glitch takes his surprisingly soft hand as they make haste into the shaft. "Dude, why didn't you just tell me earlier that it was you?" And the reader would then see this graphic. Your main man, Loki, has joined your party. Don't stare into his eyes for too long. Miyamura might try to hypnotize you. One party member remains. A draconic set of wings began to sprout from Loki's spine as before he replied, "I needed to get inside of your head somehow, and..." Then he let out a deafening pause. "Never mind. I'll tell you about it later. Don't make any noise, the sequel begins to play." Yes, this is fucking sick. Okay. That pause in his voice gives away just about everything Glitch needed to know, as an awful mixture of grief and sorrow downcast their expression. He must have used his powers to make me forget about him entirely, they gloomily thought. Positioning themselves under Aster, who just finished painting a full circle around the wall, they slapped their hands against it as a thick wall of concrete plugged every cranny that's been left unsealed. Had they dallied any longer, the barrage of heavy shoes that entered the room just now would have spotted them. The crew grew quiet as Glitch consoles their warp star closer to the wall so they could place their ear against the cool surface. Shit! A muffled voice curses. We're too late. Footsteps begin pacing listlessly around the room, like they were inspecting the bodies. Finally, a voice on the other side asks, Gerard, you still alive? This is coupled with a loud, grumpy moan before the same voice resumes. Tell us what happened. Sarge, they hear. A rogue paradisum broke in. They were after Madam's eyes. His voice became indecipherable for a moment until no cups on their person or nothing. The bastard got away before any of us could stop him. A deafening silence befalls the room. Before anything else. Actually, one of the dummy balloons saw Madam's inventory. One of the younger ones, I think. The room processes this intel for a longer duration this time. Eventually, a voice informs the surrounding crew. Received new orders from Madam Envy. Search for any suspicious individuals carrying orange eyes and kill them. Then he pauses. The kid too. No excuses. Witch's neck, palms, pits, and just about everywhere you can name begin to seep with sweat once more. Shit, kid too, huh? Figures. Can't have them babbling to the others. Witch's stomach begins to churn as they recollect everything they saw in that room, in that gruesomely purple room. Dad told us he was conquering evil in other realms, but him and Mom have been haunting our kind this entire time. She's been selling her blood. Revere told us she promised she was donating her blood to the deeply affected, not selling them off for a quick buck. But how does that explain all the other body parts in the room? Listen, we already knew how fucked over this place was from the start, ever since Masquerade. What we saw in that room solidifies why we need to get the fuck out of here with Pablo tomorrow. Besides, I never believed anything that pathetic excuse for her father told us, vanquishing the aura of evil and all that jazz. I knew her stepmom was bad news the second she found her way into that fucker's pants. Where did things go wrong? Long before Connie's death, Glitch's earliest memories of Envy, before she even conceived the idea of becoming their stepmother, was nothing short of compassionate. To think there was a time she used to treat them with her realm-famous macaroons whenever they passed by in the hallways. That was nothing but a bygone era. Everything changed the second she married Wrath. Neither of the siblings could figure out why the core of her heart became so cold and bitter. As if our miserable lives couldn't get even more fucked up, Glitch mutters. A soft hand nests itself inside Glitch's fro, glancing upwards, and for whatever reason, expecting it to be their sister. It was just Loki, observing them with that blank slate expression he always had. You good? He murmurs. You really don't have to worry. As long as I'm here. I won't let anything happen to Glitch. And he smiles softly. This evokes a smile out of Glitch too. It was weirdly nostalgic for him to just refer to him in third person like this, after all this time. Seems like my dude never really grew out of old habits. Nothing, yeah, that's not the rise. Nothing, Glitch begins. It just... That's to have you back after all this time. I still can't believe you hypnotized me to forgetting all about you, Glitch thought. Fuck, I think I fucked up. Overhead, they both heard somebody hiss, damn it, followed by a shit from Master themselves. The blue Joy-Con peers over them, with panic in their eyes, and murmurs. I don't mean to alarm you guys, but I think we passed by Pablo's room a really long time ago. See, what'd I say? Glitch hisses. Who's Pablo? Loki asks, absent-mindedly. Wait a minute. Y'all hear that? Yeah, I could have sworn I heard something. Glitch begins fuming as they as they're quick to cover Loki's mouth, but ends up palming his face instead. A soft g escapes his throat. Loud and heavy footsteps approach the shaft they're occupying from the other side. The voice became clear, crystal clear now. There was a hole here. That's how the intruder broke in, but shit, am I going insane? I swear there was something here. Glitch gestures for Loki to bring one ear closer to them as they whisper, "We came down here to rescue our little bro, Pablo, before we flood Paradiso tomorrow." As this information becomes prevalent in Loki's ears, the side of his cheeks become a bit rosy from them breathing this close. Perhaps we should take a closer look. The air feels opaque as they hear this. Without warning, the silence inside the elevator shaft is filled with the high-pitched sound of searing heat, almost as if a concentrated blast was about to re-demolish the wall they just sealed up. Shit, Glitch winces. I think they're gonna blow the wall out from the other side. They're gonna see us. Grab onto me, both of you, Loki commands, and Glitch extends one arm for their warp star as their palms collide. Loki glances at Esther next, who grabs his hand without complaint. Collecting his breath, the three of them become coated inside this ethereal black mist. Their bodies felt all light and bubbly as they began to ascend the many depths. What floor are you looking for? Glitch, don't you have Loki, creature? I forget. Glitch extracts one of their sketchbooks from their inventory as a spellcasting focus. Then, inhaling sharply, they focus their mind as they enter a state of deep, transient silence. Okay. I could see it. The luminescent threads of fate that connect our souls. They became ever visible in my mind. Loki's was green, my sister's red. I tried to blur them from my head and focus intently. Deep inside your memories, you recall the appearance of one particular guardian stationed on that isolated hallway leading to Pablo's room. You see her blonde ponytail, that white bow she wore in her hair, and her ocean blue eyes. A description worthy of the words pretty and very attractive. The reader would also then see in this graphic who that is. And you become a blushing mess and try to focus your senses on wherever she may be. You look behind you and see a glimmering silhouette in the distance. That blue thread binding your soul to hers seems to waver too. There you are! Glitch finally breaks free of their mindscape and points in one direction, shouting, "Okay, we're about to reach the floor in 3, 2, 1, now!" And scales begin to form on Loki's cheeks, as a set of curved horns also erect from his forehead. He then proceeds to ram himself into the stainless steel door, protecting Glitch and Aster from the collision. This leaves an ugly, gaping hole in their wake as material clutter scatters everywhere. And from below... Did you know? There are unseen things in the story for you to highlight. If it sparkles and gleams, there might be buried treasure underneath. Several floors below, the guards peer into this abyss of a shaft after blowing the wall open. The guardian that called for this course of action begins to groan. Shit. Gotta sworn there was someone back there. Guess living in Paradiso for 512 years doesn't fuck with your brain, am I right, guys? Holding out for a response, but receiving no answer, he repeats, "Guys?" Clack, 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 clack. The recognizable tap of her heels fastened everyone's attention. And if the reader were to highlight this text, look who finally showed up. It's Madam! And in her eyes, Madam Envy carries us up to and fro, the corpses scattered about the room, until she reunites with her band of sentries. She lilts, "Gentlemen, I sincerely hope you brought me good news." The whole recommender's back begins to unwind as he mumbles, "Madam Envy, I'm afraid to report that both of our culprits got away." Is that so? Revere asks. I suppose that's alright. Then she proceeds to slap the guardian across his face. Hard, and there's a simmering red imprint. He cries and massages his cheek. Fuck, stupid whore. No wonder nobody likes you. If, in the Sparkle text. Her eyes begin to shade with dismay as a deadly enamoration crosses her face. My, we haven't faced an embarrassment this grand in eons. I thought I made it perfectly clear that my storage would be protected by my elites, a sanctum so powerful that they could handle even the incarnate of Rathenbad. But it seems I've hired nothing but a bunch of amateurs. She shrugs and shakes her head in a playful manner. This comment about Rathenbad yields a mixture of grossed-out responses, and in the Sparkle text. What the fuck did she say? Please don't kill us, please don't kill us. Rivera lightens the mood with yet another smile and teases, I jest. Jeez, it's like I'm surrounded by a bunch of ghosts. Because you are. Rivera's pristine glare scans her surroundings as something oh so peculiar catches her eyes. My, what's this? She queries as she squats over elegantly and picks up a rather intricate pistol. My, what a curious model, you thought. And the reader would then see this graphic. Finger laced around the trigger, she observes it from every angle, unconcerned that it might trigger if she wasn't careful. And without looking, she points the gun at the same guardian she slapped earlier and pulls the trigger, causing a bullet to fly through his skull. The others recoil in place like a litter of caged puppies. Chuckling, Revere teases, oh please. It's no secret that any of us... It's no secret to any of us that he was clearly cheating on his wife. I'm merely doing her and society a favor. And in the Sparkle text, I guess that makes sense. Fair enough. Winding her attention back to the gun. The object in her hand begins to shimmer and glow as it dissipates from thin air. She closes her eyes for a brief moment before stating, let this be a lesson to you, gentlemen, and I guess to Carla over there. If you want to kill the weed properly, you have to pull out its roots too. The reader would then see this graphic. Congrats, reader. You found a memory vault. It seems like you can only open it if you solve a code. And in the Sparkle text, what's the name of Glitch and Esther's stepmom? So you might be thinking, well, it's Revere, obviously. Yeah, so about that. Whenever the reader DMs me, I tell them that Revere is in fact not their real name. Revere is not her real name. So, yeah, in any case, that would take us to our next chapter, chapter 2, and, I will, as always, I will include the video link in the description, but, yeah, thanks for sticking around, and, I will catch you in the next one.